We didn't fall out of love. We fell out of truth. And truth, when withheld, rots everything it tries to protect. We rarely know the exact moment it begins to rot. One day you're laughing in the kitchen. The next, you're watching them walk past you like a stranger. No slammed doors, no betrayal, just silence. A kind of tiredness between two bodies who once knew how to undress each other with just a glance. This is the soft collapse of intimacy. Not the dramatic kind, not the betrayal, the infidelity, the screaming match, but the slow erosion. The whispering of "I'm fine" when you're not. The unmet need you convince yourself isn't important. The truth you delay because you think love should tolerate everything, even the absence of truth. This collapse is subtle. It doesn't shatter, it seeps, it leaks. And because it doesn't scream, we don't often notice how loud the silence becomes. We think it's normal. We call it the phases of a relationship. We learn to mistake numbness for peace. We start performing love instead of living it. But intimacy was never supposed to be a performance. Intimacy, true intimacy, is not comfort. It's not compromise. It's not the management of someone else's emotions to avoid conflict. It's not the kind of peace that costs you your truth. It's exposure. It's the risk of saying the thing that might unsettle everything. It's the courage to speak when your voice shakes. It's letting the other person see you, not your mask, not your best self, but your full, unfiltered core. And most people never get there, not because they're incapable, but because they've been taught that to be fully seen is to be rejected. They've been told that the truth is dangerous, that honesty ruins relationships, that saying, "I feel unseen," is an accusation, not an invitation. And so we withhold. We don't speak what hurts. We don't ask for what we need. We become caretakers instead of lovers. We become silent instead of sovereign. And over time, our longing becomes resentment, not because we stopped loving, but because we stopped being real. And here's the paradox no one wants to admit. Love does not die from conflict, it dies from avoidance. It dies from the small, habitual betrayals of the self. When we suppress what we know, when we ignore the knot in our gut, when we apologize for being too much and start shrinking to be tolerable. We think we're protecting the relationship, but what we're doing is burying it alive, because you cannot build sacred intimacy on the foundations of silence. You can't thrive in a connection where your truth is exiled. You cannot keep calling it love if it demands the abandonment of your own soul. And yet most of us don't know how to name this collapse. We feel the distance, but can't trace it. We sense the ache, but can't explain it. So we keep going through dinners, through holidays, through the motions. We make love without meeting. We talk without speaking. We live beside each other instead of within. And then one day, something breaks. Maybe it's a look. Maybe it's a missed call. Maybe it's nothing. But we both feel it. The space has grown too wide. The bridge has decayed. We're still together, but we're alone. This is not failure, but it is a revelation. It reveals what we sacrificed in the name of safety. It reveals how we confused harmony with health. It reveals that what we called maturity was just our fear wearing a tie. It reveals that love without truth is performance. And so, if you're in the ache of this collapse, if you feel the distance growing, if you no longer recognize the eyes across from you, do not rush to repair. Do not run to fix with tips and date nights and surface gestures. Sit in the ache and ask, what am I no longer saying? What truth have I withheld? What version of myself did I silence in order to be chosen? What am I trying to protect by abandoning my honesty? And then, If you're brave enough, speak it. Speak the truth that might ruin everything. Because if your relationship cannot hold your truth, it's already gone. So let the soft collapse finish its work. Let the silence break. Let the rot surface. Only then can something real begin again. Not the old pattern in a new disguise, but something honest, something sacred, something unshaped by performance and fear. Because the very deepest intimacy is not found in being understood, but in being seen anyway. And the only way to be seen is to stop hiding. Just remember, you're not too much. You've just been too silent for too long. Welcome to The Architect Speaks.